Hey guys, it's me coming on strong. Hope you guys are feeling blessed no matter where you are. So I said in a previous video that I made a Debbie Downer one that I didn't post. So I'm going to make one that's might be controversial, but at the same time, it's about that time. Because we're coming to realities that we are all facing globally, and we're all screaming inside that our soul is in a connected place and is disconnected from what we all want. All we want is love, acceptance, understanding, and most of all, freedom. Freedom to be, freedom to act, freedom of our souls. So all the shakeups that we're facing, it is astounding to us that are ascending, that the rest seem like they can't see at all. It's like they're blind. And see what exactly? See that we will have to fight and fight for that freedom that we all dearly, truly want. So I'm going to break it down. Let's start off with our lovely Mr. Trump. Trump is, and always will be, a character that is necessary for this change. He is the catalyst. Some would call him the Antichrist. Some would just see that he's the perfect magician. He's the perfect ringmaster for this carnival ride that we're all on right now. And when I say this carnival ride, what I truly mean is that we've got a lot going on, don't we? And to my brothers in the south of me that is, in the United States, you guys are facing one of the most hardest situations I've ever seen. I feel like, as someone who is seeing this from a different perspective, be it that I am Canadian, is that I'm seeing this civil war break out. There's a division that's being struck between right, between left, between blue, between red, between the simple intrinsic things that make up the United States, its beautiful place and free world to be. Now, Trump is the best character. He is a magician. He can facilitate the look over here while I do this over here. And that's what's making him so chaotic to the existence of the free world as we speak. He is a sensationalist. He loves to make people feel like he's not. When he was running, he was saying that he wasn't a bigot, he wasn't a racist, he wasn't against free speech. He was for the solidarity of the country, make America great again. But really, what have we seen? We've seen Roe v. Wade get overturned, women's rights getting stripped, any type of sexual rights getting stripped. We've seen ICE going after Americans, not only illegal immigrants, and then not even sending them back to their own countries. They're sending them and spreading them around the world. Then on top of it, he's suing everyone in the media that doesn't agree with him. And then at the same time, he's saying to make America great again. But what's very intrinsically needs to be understood is what he's doing is cutting down the foundation of what Americans stand on, which is their beautiful, beautiful Constitution. And what I will say is things like January 6th, right? The attack on the White House, definitive signages of certain amendments to things that he felt were deemed fit in his eyes, but not of the people. Let's not even forget that he has brought on, let's say, 4 of the biggest billionaires to administer his administration, and it has nothing to do with what people voted in, which is against, again, the Constitution. And on April 20th, he's thinking of imposing martial law. Why martial law? Maybe it's because there are a lot of boots. Maybe cute winter boots that are coming out right now. And this is the coding of what's taking place. This is the division that's taking place, and that's formulating the civil war that is brewing underneath the surface, that is. I mean, let's not placate anything. Who needs democracy, really? Is that not what we all fight for on a daily basis? Is that not what we truly want in our heart of hearts? Who needs the United States, right? Who needs that word, united? If he has it his way, that word will change, because it won't be a united place. It won't be a united anything for that matter. It'll be the divided states of Trump. And I feel like that's what he's trying to succeed at. He wants to divide everyone so that they're fighting over all of the minuscule things that take away the foundation of what it is to be in a sovereign free land. What people have to understand is that you have to unite and destroy that which takes away your own freedom. Not to mention this coup. Not to mention that in a video past, I talked about how he wants to cleanse the Middle East, and now we are seeing it as so. So what I'm trying to say is that this coup that he's got going on, if we don't want to call it that, but Mr. Elon Musk is not part of what I believe the Americans voted for. And we see at this point in time, there are many, many, many revolts all around the world fighting for their rights. And this is what I mean. So, as you can see, it's not just America that's brewing, it's all around the world, because they realize that this is the free world, this was the pinnacle of what everyone believed in. And if this gets taken away, if this falls, then a lot of other places are going to fall. It's like, aren't we tired of pro-billionaires dictating their ideals and that not of the people? And at the same time, all he seems to have done, Mr. Trump, is help the billionaires get richer, helping them scam out of taxes, helping them find more money in a world that is already so unlevel. And let's not forget, us in Canada, here in the Western world, we're in the same boat. We're on the brink of what we call a referendum, what we call a new election for a new politician to step in, a new face to this country. Or wait, let me guess. We're supposed to be the 52nd state, right? And that's something that just got laughed about. But realistically, what is that saying? That's saying that basically you guys, as Americans, all of a sudden just want to take over our land and take over the lands of others for the sake of doing it. Not realizing that we are all sovereign beings. And I personally have always been of the thinking that there should be no actual, there should be no barriers between us. But let's be realistic. We're all here fighting for the same cause. Okay, and in our land and in Canada, we face the same tribulations as you guys. We got 3 guys stepping in. We've got Singh, we've got Carney, and we've got Poilievre. And Poilievre, as great as he is at actually debating the situations at hand, Poilievre is somebody that is a little bit tricky. Poilievre is somebody that's really scary in my books, because realistically, he sensationalizes all the problems just like Trump. He talks a big game and he says he's going to fix things, but let's wait a minute. Let's see what he actually did. What Poilievre actually did in his time as the leader of the Conservative Party actually said no to all of these things. These things like daycare, these things like help, these things that he voted against is exactly indicative of the actual oxymoron that he is, because he's stating that he wants to help housing. He's stating that he wants to help the people, yet he votes against these things. So when the time comes for us to vote, we got our choices and our people cut out for us, because realistically, my fear is that Poilievre talks a big game and he says he's for the people, but his actions speak louder than words. Now, we've got Mr. Carney. He's new to the game. He's not a politician, but he knows money. He's a financier. And considering the state of our economy, and not just Canada's, the world economy right now, I think it's better to put somebody who knows about money, who knows about the simplistics of how the underrunnings work, and I'd rather vote for him than for this guy. Wait, also, what people don't realize is who is backing Poilievre. Poilievre is first and foremost a progressive conservative. What that means is he wants to cut. But who else is backing him is kind of interesting, because our previous prime minister, who was part of the Progressive Conservative Party as well, who was actually a dirty, shady guy who sold out a lot of our country, aside from our last Prime Minister, who was, let's say, the Jesuit Prince. And if you don't know what that is, you might want to look into MK Ultra, and you might want to look into Trudeau's in general. And not to mention, not to say that all the liberals are bad, but these liberals were. We had Brian Mulroney and we had Justin Trudeau, and before that we had Pierre Trudeau. And if you don't know much about Pierre Trudeau, take a look at this. As you can see, Pierre Trudeau was what we would call a Jesuit. And Jesuits are a sect or a faction of the Catholic Church. And what that means is that they had their hand in what we would call a New World Order. So did it surprise me that Mr. Trudeau, when he had his time, sold us out like dirty sheets in a bad bargain sale? Was someone who was raised in this type of understanding. And what these guys are known for is things like sex trafficking. What these guys are known for are things like trafficking persons. What these guys are known for is debauchery. So I'm glad we got rid of our Jesuit prince, but I'm also scared to put in someone like this, Poilievre, who's backed by people like this, AWZ Ventures, that is. And if you want to take a look at this, look at the people that are involved in this venture capitalist backing. These are lobbyists that back Poilievre. We're talking people that run Mossad. We're talking about people that ran CSIS. We're talking about people that ran the FBI, the CIA. And what do they specialize in? AI integration of facial recognition. They're actual persons who specialize in next level weaponry. And this is the guy that we're going to vote in. So as Canadians, please take a seat and really look at who you're maybe voting in, because it might be the last vote you ever do. So the last and only thing I want to bring up right at the end of this is that with everything overturning, we've got to be hella scared about what's going on. But at the same time, as ascenders, we're starting to feel a lot more brevity and a lot more relieved and a lot more understanding of what's going on. But it is our goal to get everyone who can't see the truth to see what's really going on. We need to stop paying attention to sensationalizing everything. We need to stop making everything an issue, and we need to start coming together. We need to unite. Things are turning. Right now, we've got Australia, Canada, and England in the crux of all of this. Have you seen this, guys? Because I've seen this, and it's really scary.
Conditioning, you know. First we had the tickets that you put on the bus, you put on the train, and they went to the Opal cards. Then from the Opal cards that you tap, they went from your phone. So now you tap with your phone. Next step is you're gonna tap with the microchip. Everyone's already been conditioned with all the steps. People will just accept it, you know, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's just the world of evolving, building metros everywhere in the city of Sydney. So when they lock us down again and they say, oh, you can't travel 15 minutes outside, your card or your microchip at the time isn't going to let you pass through certain areas. If you have like a low social credit score, it won't let you go to like the rich areas or the nice poshy areas. Plus, mixed with the electric cars, it's like even the scooters that you hire or the bikes that you hire on the street, it doesn't let you ride in certain areas and it just stops the bikes and the scooters from going. Wait till they do that with electric cars. All they need to do is force electric cars and then put an update in the car and it has all that GPS tracking stuff already. And you won't even be able to tinker with the car because it's so advanced. You can't even go to proper mechanics now. You can't even change anything in electric cars because it's so advanced. It saves convenience. No, that's control.
They're really starting to, under the guise of different things like the pandemic, for example, trying to roll out this smart city, smart crypto, smart everything. And we got guys like this, Mr. Gates, that are stating that they're going to do another pandemic. They're saying that this is an inevitability. And sometimes the way I see things is like, it's sometimes like a fart. If you're the one who smells the fart, it's probably because you dealt the fart. And I truly believe that Mr. Gates is trying to prepare us for what him and his organization are planning to roll out once again. Because if we don't follow suit and there aren't enough shakeups to actually get this new world order into play, this is another part of it too. The first one was to see what we would act like. The first one was to see how many civil liberties would let us get taken away. And at the same time, they learned a lot from this science project they put out there. Not to say that people didn't die, not to say that this was the most tremendous thing that us in our modern day have gone through since, let's say, polio. But what I'm trying to say is when people like him are saying that this is an inevitability, and also at the same time people like Fauci, and we all know how great that guy is, it makes me wonder, is this the next step that Pfizer, Bayer, all of these other large corporations are after so that they can see what the next takeaways could be? Because places like Australia, England, and Canada are on the brink of actually following suit into this smart world. And really and truly, like, let's be realistic. Right now, the way it stands, the way I see it, there's a lot more stupid people out there than there are smart. And I'm not talking about book smarts. I'm talking about, smarts. Actually seeing things for the reality, for the validity, having a backbone to stand up for that validity. In my eyes, the only person in the United States who's standing up for the people, it seems like right now, is Mr. Bernie Sanders. Poor Bernie Sanders over here has been in this Senate and he's been yelling to the rooftops trying to get people to listen to him. And you know what? It breaks my heart because someone like him is this type that would get taken out solely because he's actually someone who's smart, who actually is for the people, and he can turn heads. In this time where we see smart cars, smart meters, smart homes, smart cities on the brink of being realized, what does this say when most of our society is not that smart? Most of the society is not that bright. And I'm just using this clip as an example of what I mean.
Rushmore. Do you support that?
Absolutely.
It'd be exciting.
Absolutely.
People have said they want Trump on Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would like to see his face on it for sure.
I mean, he has made some changes. I feel like it's going to be greater changes in the upcoming years. So I wouldn't mind to see it.
I think he should have the biggest face on Mount Rushmore, okay?
Who would you replace him with?
If I had to pick one of them to get me off, probably Andrew Jackson.
Why?
I mean, I feel like out of the other four, he's probably like the least well-known, probably the least symbolic, if that makes sense.
And he's already not on there.
Oh, he's not?
No. Come on here.
I'm gonna be honest, that looks nothing like Mount Rushmore.
Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt. Is this the hot one?
Yes.
Yes.
Which is the hot one?
Alexander Hamilton.
What did Lincoln really accomplish anyway? Why is he up there?
I have no clue, to be real.
So what do you think he actually accomplished?
I don't remember too much, but I do know that he did have slaves. And I do know that he was with the abolishment of slaves and stuff. So I do like that. I think like him with the abolishment of slaves and stuff is good.
Yeah. Do you think Trump would support the abolishment?
I don't think he would disagree with the abolishment.
Now, you got to understand, with people running around like this, it's going to be like three dumb to every smart. And it's on us as the ascending, and not saying that we're just the smartest or we're the best or whatever the case may be. But what we have is something called discernment. What we have is understanding of truth. And it's on us to get the smart ones to just take it one step further to say, you know what, we're going to act. You know what, we're going to fight. You know what, we're not going to let these dumbasses run the show. Not only do we have the dumbasses, and I hope you understand that this was all by design. Because what is going on right now? Everybody has the attention span of a gnat. Everybody has the attention span of like less than 30 seconds. Kids can't focus in school. They've dumbed down our education. And if you don't know, Mr. Trump is trying to take away education even more as it is. Why is this? Because it's better to have a stupid populace than those that are free thinkers. It's better to have a stupid populace than those that think outside the box. So realistically, right now, these billionaires and elites are running the show. And when do we start to say no? When do we start to realize that things like Meta and X and TikTok, which is AKA Meta now too, are all running the show? We don't have independent news. We don't have independent media for that matter. So realistically, it's those with the most money in their pockets that are telling us what's up. And that's not true. The fact is that instead of us looking to the billionaires to save us and looking to our politicians to save us, we have to take matters into our own hands. And how do we do this? Making videos like I am, talking to our families, talking to our friends, because realistically, all of this needs to start coming out. We have this tool of the internet. So if you're somebody that has something to say, get on here already, because this is not the time to sit back. This is the time to shine. We don't want to be participants in this carnival ride. Those of us that are ascending, we do understand what's going on. And at the same time, we're not scared because some of us feel like we've done this before. I know for myself, and I speak for myself and for all of my ascending beauties out there, is that we realize that there are timelines and they are splitting. There's the 3-dimensional version of self where everything kind of takes a haywire wrong turn at Albuquerque. And then we've got the 5D ascended, that is all of us taking matters into our own hands and moving into a consciousness where truth and beauty and solidarity and freedom reign. And that's the thing, is that it's all about a consciousness swipe. It's all about a consciousness leap. And the thing is that for those of you out there that are in dream time, you might know what I'm talking about. I've been in 4D in my dream time for months, if not years now, cleaning it up. And every time I go into this dream state, where am I? I'm in the United States. I'm in some post-apocalyptic 4D, trying to get all those that didn't catch the boat the first time, who now get the boat and are ready to get on the boat and getting them on the boat. So what I'm saying is that for all of us out there that are thinking, is this real? Is this happening? What can I do about it? Here's the thing. MAGA isn't real. Making America great isn't real. Letting people dictate what America isn't real. You know what democracy is. You know what freedom means. So how about you start enforcing that in your family? We're at a stage that we need to take it in our own hands. And I don't mean walking into a civil war. What I mean is uniting. Finding the differences in everyone is great. Okay? But at the same time, what we need to do is realize what UNITE says. I'm not even American and I understand what UNITE says. You know what UNITE says? We're on the western side of the world. You know what UNITE says is that I live, eat, breathe, sleep, shit, eat, just like the rest of you. Okay? That's what UNITE says. We don't have time to be debating about these little squabbles that all these people are trying to put in our minds that are making us distracted so we don't see the real picture. And what the real picture is that if we don't wake up, nothing changes. So if this is the wake-up call you guys need to realize that this is what's happening in the world, it's not some conspiracy theory for once. It's reality. And the reality is that you need to stand up for your vote, Canadians, and you need to stand up for yourselves, Americans, and you need to stop letting people like this dictate what your next steps are. And I don't want to come off like I'm high and mighty, because I'm definitely not. I want to come off like a single mom. I want to come off as a brother or sister to you. Okay? Because at the end of the day, when shit hits the fan, we all go through that fan together. And some of us are going to be cleaning up the 4D. And some of us are going to be holding up those boat oars, trying to get all of you on this boat of consciousness to say, let's ascend, guys. Let's get out of this place. Because realistically, if it was up to the billionaires, we'd be like cattle. We'd be branded and we would just be these numb, drugged out, drunked out, non-divergents who are seriously in some need of some real TLC. And it's better for them to keep you sick. It's better for them to keep you dumb. It's better for them to keep you scared to move and to feel empowered in your own solidarity. And that is the truth. You have more power than you believe. And the minute that you take hold of that is the minute that this carnival ride is over.